You're looking at the second album by English rock group the Spiritualized. It's called Pure Phase and it was released in 1995. Spiritualized is a great group, largely a one-man show. Jason Pierce, aka J Spaceman, shown here, is the man behind Spiritualized. The group arose out of the ashes of another group called Spacemen 3, operated throughout the 80s. And in the wake of that band's dissolution, Jason Pierce, J Spaceman, went on to form this group. So I'm going to show you the 3 vinyl editions that I have, 2 of their great 90s albums, including this one, and then they just released a new album last week, which is excellent, and I'll show you that as well. So some things about spiritualized sound. The term often used to describe them is space rock, which is one of the stupider names in rock criticism. Just sounds dumb, possibly because the guy calls himself J Spaceman. Second album, or the album after this, is Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space. Obviously the spaceman imagery here, etc. I think also it's meant to kind of indicate the spacey nature of the sound. Is a kind of psychedelic aspect to a lot of it. Very layered sound in spiritualized music. Great headphones music. There'll be strings, horns, traditional rock instruments, a gospel choir, sometimes all at once. And a lot of the songs are really slow building type songs, epic in nature, very repetitive, droning. There's a tie-in to shoegaze also, right, from around the same era, but still today present in the kind of drone, which could be a guitar noise or feedback, or it could be the drone of horns or synthesizers or voices or any other such things. So this imagery here is from the original release, and there's a note in here somewhere. Oh, right here. Okay. Says that on front here, this is the original packaging. Looks like a watermelon to me, but it's Spiritualized. Electric Mainline is one of the songs on the album. Pure Phase is another one. And it says that the design was by Spaceman and others. And then in here, what these are scans of photographic prints that have originally printed in 95 and have decayed over time. So interesting there. What I take that to mean is these are, I guess, pictures or scans of photo prints, and this is not a defect of this packaging here. It's over time, the image on the print has decayed a little bit and gotten scratched up. Songs on here. The very first song is called Medication. A common theme in a lot of spiritualized songs is drugs. This is one of my favorite songs of theirs called Lay Back in the Sun. It's a song about good dope and good fun. That's the chorus. You see good times. There's a lot of references here to partying, being with friends. There's also a heavy, I would call it a Rolling Stones influence. Some of the songs actually are, the song titles are taken from Rolling Stones songs, not on this one, but there's one called Shine a Light. I think it's on their first album, Laser Guided Melodies. Shine a Light is also a title of a Stones song from Exile on Main Street. And I listened to a couple of songs from the Stones album earlier because I wanted to confirm what I thought, that there is a very heavy influence there, especially in songs like Let It Loose and like I said, Shine a Light. Okay, so there's a lot of musical history that Spaceman references in his songs, sonically and lyrically. This is a great album. I recommend all of them, actually. And here, I'm going to show you what the actual vinyl album looks like. This is a double LP, and this is actually glow-in-the-dark vinyl. All right, so it's a double vinyl LP, 33 and a third RPM vinyl discs, and glow in the dark. So to get the full effect of that, we'll take a look. So the glow in the dark effect fades fairly quickly. I had to hold these up to a light and sort of charge them up. You can see the one on the lighting is not great here, but you get the sense of how cool this is. I'm going to back up a little. These are on little stands on a shelf in my room here. Something very cool and mysterious about the way those LPs float in space, glowing. And you can see they've already faded from when I first started showing this. So that I thought was very cool. Here is the next album after that. This is the 1997 album, Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space. 97 was the same year Radiohead's OK Computer was released, and Spiritualized album actually won the Album of the Year by a British music publication over OK Computer. That's how highly regarded this was, and still is, still regarded as one of the best albums, not only of the 90s, but of all time. This cover is a picture of the original packaging. Again, here's a note on the back. It's a photograph of the prototype pill tray from the original pharmaceutical-style CD packaging. And then the images inside, which I'll show you in a second, show the packaging in manufacture, and then a reproduction of patient product information. So when this was originally released, it came out packaged like a drug package. So it has product information here, and here, these are the people putting the packaging together. So there'd be, I think, 3 CDs in this foil packaging put together in a box like this with these instructions for dosage. You see they're wearing protective gear and whatnot. All in keeping with the drug themes that run all the way through. Let's see, on this one of my favorite songs on this one is called I Think I'm in Love, which has a lyric about him being basically shooting up, I think. It's me and my arm and my Coke and my spoon, he says. I feel the warmth of the sun in the room. Here's an idea of how many instruments Spaceman plays. All of these guitars and keyboards and whatnot. Coxon has been with him, I think, throughout Spiritualized. He's actually even got, that is the famous Dr. John there playing on here. Again, this is from 97, so Dr. John has passed away in recent years. And then we've got all the horn players, strings, choirs. Right, I like this choir arranged by the Irreverend J. Spaceman and an actual reverend there. His management here, Jeanette Lee from Rough Trade. I can't let this go without pointing out that Jeanette Lee is a central figure in English punk history. This is her on the cover of the Public Image Limited album, Flowers of Romance from 1981. She's a musician herself. She played with the band, or different versions of PIL and Sex Pistols, and is a longtime fixture on the English music scene. So currently at Rough Trade Records. And okay, so I'll show vinyl albums themselves. Here, these ones are not glow in the dark, but they are a very cool shade of blue, which, I kid you not, is called Neptune Blue. I mean, how could I not get it? This was actually the first of the 3 vinyl editions that I'm showing here that I got. And it was mainly because I love Spiritualized in this album, but also when I saw Neptune Blue, I said, well, gotta have that. So 2 discs, both in this nice shade. And here, let's see, here, it's all very funny, I think. If you want to pause this and read through it, you could. What should I do if my symptoms persist? Take these other medicines, which are the names of the other Spiritualized albums. Active ingredients, the musicians. Oh, 2 tablets, so maybe that means for this final edition. I thought for the CD it was 3. I'd love to get my hands on one of those old editions. Search through eBay, etc. See if I can find a good one someday. Okay, and then I'm going to skip forward. So that was a 97 release. Their next album was called Let It Come Down in 2001. Then they had one called Amazing Grace. Then songs in A&E, Sweetheart, Sweet Light. And then in 2018 came an album called And Nothing Hurt. And then just this past week in 2022, this is their newest release, Everything Was Beautiful. So Everything Was Beautiful, and then the title of the previous album, And Nothing Hurt, is a quote from Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five. Also, interestingly, the entire quote was used in correct order by Moby, the American DJ and musician, on an album of his from, I think, 2018. So this, again, is packaged similarly to the Ladies and Gentlemen album, in that it's packaged as if it were a drug. So this is a box that would contain the medication. Okay, contents are the titles of the album here. This is a great album. I'm linking to the official video to this song, the Mainline song. This whole album, not just in its packaging, but even in its songs and its themes, is almost a sequel, I think, or a follow-up to Ladies and Gentlemen. And also references themes in his other work, too. So from Pure Phase, there's that song, Lay in the Sun, about good dope and good fun. The Mainline song, mainline itself could be a double meaning word. Mainline being the main line of a railroad, which the video features. It's a point of view from the locomotive barreling down the tracks in England. Also could be a reference to the main line of a vein, heroin use. It's also a song like Lay in the Sun about having fun, partying. The key repeated phrase is, I wanted to know if you wanted to go to the city tonight. So just joy at being with your friends and having fun and whatnot. Although this song has a crushing end to it. So if you do watch the video, please watch all the way to the end. When all of the chorus and other effects drop out and it's only Spaceman's voice singing a really sad kind of ending where it turns out, well, one interpretation is that he's speaking to a past lover or loved one who's gone. And instead of a celebratory tone, it turns into a kind of sad lament. It's really an interesting turn there. So this album was printed or made on pink vinyl. Not sure why, but definitely like it. And this cover has perforations in it. It's actually meant to be, I think, taken apart and put back together in the form of a medication box. And so that's what a box of spiritualized medication looks like. Love it. And without that, with that removed from the cover, it now looks like this. It's the shape. This is also the shape that you'll see in the Mainline video slowly kind of come into focus. I meant to show this too when I was talking about those lyrics for the Mainline song. It's a good example of the repetition of Spiritualized. A lot of their songs just repeat over and over again, with sometimes only very minor variations. And then, so here's the 4 main verses, and then here's that kind of coda that I mentioned, where it's just his voice, and he sounds kind of weak as he's singing it. I caught you once and I'll court you again. I only wanted to be your friend, and I wanted to know if you wanted to go to the city again. That's the first time he says go to the city again. All the other times it's go to the city tonight, as if he were saying to his friends or a friend, you know, let's go have some fun. But here it turns out that he's remembering someone who's not there, and is hoping that he or she will come with him this time. Okay, and then other drug references through here when I was listening earlier today. Oh, here's a song for Iggy, Stooges and Iggy Pop. Also a big influence on Spiritualized music. Some of their songs are very raucous and punk-like. Others are more stately and orchestral. There's a great live album recorded at Royal Albert Hall with a full orchestra, and it has a lot of the songs from those first 2 albums that I showed you earlier. I can't really find the drug reference that I heard before, but they're in there. Anyway, so this, I think, is going to have to be trained a little bit to retain its shape. I hope it does, because I would like to just keep it like this on my shelf of memorabilia. All right, well, everything's unfolding here, so I guess I'll just conclude with the image of the pink LP, side A. Again, if you like Radiohead and My Bloody Valentine, and The Verve, groups like that, you would probably definitely like Spiritualized. Also, even groups like Pink Floyd or the Rolling Stones, or Phil Spector's production techniques, the layered arrangements that I mentioned. This group really rewards repeated listenings and headphones. There's a Beach Boys vibe in there too, with that same kind of production quality and attention to detail. So that's Spiritualized. Hope you enjoyed that look, and I will be back soon.